Welcome to Let's Talk Business, where Square business owners share their stories, the biggest lessons they learned, and their plans for the future. I'm Elon Peso, Square small business evangelist and a former business owner. And today we're talking to Randy Fulk from Korie's Kloset. Thank you so much for joining us, Randy.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I am so excited to get to share your story and your learnings. And with that, let's talk business. First, can you give us a quick introduction?
I'm Randy Fulk. Me and my wife, Tammy, owns Korie's Kloset. We're based out of Florida, and we travel from the East Coast to the Midwest. We work state fairs. We're a completely mobile business.
Incredible. Yeah, your setups are absolutely fantastic. It's so great to see and so great to have you here. Let's dive in all the way at the beginning. Can you tell us what led you to start your business?
We got married in 1983. 1985, we've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. In 1985, we started a little ceramic business working weekend craft shows. And that went pretty well. My wife, about 3 years after we started, she went part-time at her job. And then a year later, she quit totally, went full-time in the business. And a year after that, I went full-time. And we just started doing ceramics, and they started to die out a little bit, and we switched over to embroidery and clothing, and that's what we're doing today.
Incredible. I love that pivot that you just sort of followed what made sense and all that. I'd love to dive in a little bit deeper in there. How exactly did you make that shift of noticing that the ceramics were dying down and decided to switch over?
Well, a chain store that sells things for $1, they started up. And when you can go in and buy what we were selling for $1, that sort of hurt your business. So we saw then that we had to make some changes. And we've always been interested in clothing and embroidery, print and stuff like that. And so we said, take the chance. And we took the chance and switched over.
Very cool. Are y'all still doing the embroidery or just the clothing side?
We still do some of the embroidery at home in our off time. We used to take it with us on the road, but when you're working and you've got like a line of people wanting to pay, and then somebody comes up and says, "Oh, I need this embroidery." It's just like everything comes to a standstill because I have to stop and do the embroidery, and sometimes you just have to make changes. And it's worked out better.
Cool.
Doing embroidery at home, we just try to get stuff built up to do and bring with us, and then we just sell it at the fairs now instead of doing embroidery.
Yeah,
and plus I'm getting older, and so a 160-pound embroidery machine, I don't miss having to load and unload it every week. So
that makes a lot of sense to shift away from all of those like inefficiencies from that side and focus more on what makes more sense. With that, you mentioned going mobile and all of that. Can you tell me more about how the business operates mobile? What's that process like? What are your setups like?
We usually right now we're on a 5-month road trip. And so it's usually we set up, tear down, set up, tear down. So, we get to the fair, we have 2 or 3 days to get set up. So we unload, set everything up, set the booth up, sell, tear it down, move to the next one. So it's just, it's just like setting up a brick and mortar store, just like setting up a new store every week or every 12 days. So it's just, you just get used to it. You try to make things where it's easier to set up. Like we have grid work, we can work around any type of setup we have with the grids, designing our walls and stuff. And so you just learn to make shortcuts and try to make stuff easier.
Yeah, that's great. I love that tip of having it be somewhat modular so you can set up, because it does seem like a daunting task to set up every single time, everywhere there. Like, what are the rest of those logistics like of having to have all that inventory and set up and go from place to place?
Yeah. Well, we have an 18-foot trailer, and we try to carry enough inventory to be set up and prepared for that show. And my wife, she handles all the logistics of we have inventory waiting for us at each location. So she handles all of that. And where we import it, 6 to 8 days delivery time. So she has to stage everything out that it'll be there when we get there or while we're there, and doesn't get there after we're gone, which, knock on wood, we've never had anything to be delivered after we've left. I don't know how in the world she does it. There's no way I could do it, but she's right on top of everything. It's usually there within a day of when she expects it. So we just have everything lined up waiting for us, and then we work on it during the fair, get it tagged, priced, put out, so we can keep our inventory, everything full. And then we also have that, so the next fair, we're ready to go in for it. So you're always, like the last fair we done, we were working for the State Fair of Texas, which is coming up next. So, we've already got inventory ready to go in there. And then we've got inventory that'll be there next week that we'll start, because it's 24 days long. So we have to have a lot of inventory to carry for the 24 days.
Wow. Yeah, that's really intense to have such a long setup, and like you're still mobile, but at that point it feels and seems like it's less mobile. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have been some of the challenges and hardest points of managing that type of business?
The hardest thing is just we're completely mobile, so just making sure we're there on time, making sure the product is there, getting our help lined up, which we have help that travels with us. So we've got that taken care of. But just, making sure we've got the product, making sure we get there on time, make sure nothing breaks down. You're not on the side of the road trying to get something fixed, with the deadlines. Because like when we do the Iowa State Fair, it's over on Sunday night. We pack out Monday morning, and we drive 3.5 hours to Minnesota, and we start setting up Monday afternoon for the Minnesota State Fair that opens Thursday. So you can't afford to have any type of breakdowns, or hopefully no breakdowns. Everything's got to run smoothly to stay right in that time frame. So
yeah, that's very intense. You mentioned having help and having employees. How did you decide to bring folks with you and have mobile employees, as opposed to, especially with some of the longer ones, potentially having local help and hiring locally? And what are those, like, it's people, it's humans who also need a life. Like what's some of that process like of hiring someone to travel?
Before COVID, we had no trouble hiring local people, because people would always come into the fair looking. But after COVID, you can ask anyone that works like the fair business. It's hard to find, people just coming up wanting to work. And we found an older lady. She's our age. I shouldn't say older. She's our age. But, her kids is all grown, and she likes to travel some. So she just she starts out with us, and we'll work Delaware, Minnesota, Iowa, and Minnesota. And then she'll fly home for 3 weeks, and then she'll fly back to Texas, and she'll start back with Texas. So she gets a little break in between and a rest. But it works out good because, she knows exactly what to do. It's not like you're having to train someone every week, in a different town. You've got to, train someone. So, she comes in, knows exactly what to do, and, everything works out good.
Nice. Yeah, that's a really good point, because when you have a family business like yours, having ingrained folks with you that can assume that brand identity and know everything and help sell in that way, that's tremendous. That's really cool. It also sounds expensive to run a business like this with all of those types of shipments and all the logistics and operations of travel. Has it been worth it to continue and do mobile? Like what is it about it that this is why you're doing your business this way?
We've always been, ever since we started, even when the ceramic business, we were always mobile. We were doing weekend craft shows, and we love to travel. When we're, you're somewhere so long, we start getting a little itchy. We're ready to go on. So, it's always something different. Even though we do the same fairs year after year, It's always something different, each year. And, it's just, we just like the travel, and we like the different experiences.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is that you get work and you get travel all in one.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's very cool. Very cool. You said that you do these fairs and there's sort of a season for that. What do you do with the business in the off season when you're not traveling?
Okay. Well, our season is split. Our fairs are split into 2 seasons. Like we work Florida in the wintertime. All the Florida fairs are in the winter. So February to the middle of April, into April, we work our fairs in. Then we take May and off. That's our time. We take it off, and we usually do some traveling and stuff. And June, we start preparing for the summer fall fairs, which starts, we leave July and we get back home in December. So June, we spend the whole month tagging, processing, getting it ready to go. And in January, we do that for our winter fair. So we take, it's just split up, and we take it, break it down, and just take it.
Very cool. And with that, like with the off season, what keeps y'all going?
We do live shows. We do them during the when we're in our off season, when we're down, and then we also do live shows at the fairs too. And we enable local pickup, because that way they buy it on the live show, and then when they come to the live show, a lot of times they'll also buy something else too. And we get to put a face with a name that we see through our lives, and just becomes a family. You get to know everybody, and you just get to know people all over the country.
Very cool. Do you tend to get like a lot of recurring customers each time you go back to a particular fair?
Yeah. We have a lot. We'll always, make posts on our Facebook page. We're coming, and we get a lot of feedback. Like, looking forward to seeing you again. Can't wait to see you. And they send us photos of their kids wearing our clothes. And we have 3 TVs put up in our booth, and we call it Korie's Runway. And so we have all them pictures, and people like to come in and see their kids, up on the TVs, and plus, new customers come by, and they see that, we tell them, these are our customers, they aren't paid models or nothing. These are people that purchases the clothes and wears them, sends the pictures. So, it gets people's attention, and, brings more new customers into the family.
Incredible. Do you also find that folks that you'll meet on the road would then keep buying from you online throughout the year, or is it more of just they buy when you're there type of thing?
We have some that just buys when we're there, but we have a lot that we've like on our live shows. I mean, we have a lot of people from every area we go to that tunes into our live shows and buys, and then they buy during the seasons from our website and stuff. So it's really helped our Facebook and our lives and our website business. Just traveling from place to place instead of having a regular brick and mortar where basically it's the same people you pretty much see every week, or every 2 weeks come in. So
yeah, it definitely sounds like sort of the advantages of both, especially with those longer runs. What sort of feels like the difference there between something like you said, the 24-day fair, as opposed to just a couple day or a single day event?
The shortest fair we do is 10 days. So that's the shortest we do. And then Texas is the longest. It's 24. But Texas goes by pretty fast. I mean, we look at it as like 2 shows. We just sort of break it down like 2 fairs in one. But the time goes by fast. Like I said, a lot of people we've met over the years comes in. So you're all the time, seeing the people and talking. So.
Yeah. Does one tend to be more successful than the other, or anything there?
Our Christmas show in Charlotte is really good. That's probably our best show. And, it's just people, it's in November. So, people's ready to buy for Christmas. But, all the fairs are pretty good because they like to touch and feel it. And so, any fair you go to, any state fair you go to, people look forward to it because it only comes once a year. So, they save up and they look forward, coming for the food and the entertainment and, shopping. So, yeah, it took us a long time. We do 13 fairs. It took us a long time, but, we've sort of got them down to the ones that, is profitable for us. So.
Cool. How do you discover that which ones are happening and apply to get in and figure out and do that analytics to see which ones are the most profitable and most worth your time and efforts?
Yeah, well, we're a member of NICA and the IAFE. That's the fair associations that deals with the fairs. And so, when we started looking the bigger attendances, the more people that you've got a chance to come because, Iowa has over 1 million, Minnesota has 1.9 million people come. Texas has, I think, 2.3 million people. So, not every one of them walks by our booth, but when you've got that many people, you're going to have a lot of people that's going to walk by. And we try to make our booth, eye-catching because they say you've only got 30 seconds to get someone's attention. So, we have our name up on, in signs, and we have like I said, we have our little slideshows going and, make sure our booth is lit up just to get the person to look at our booth and come in and shop. So.
Yeah, well, I'd love to dive in a little bit deeper there. What other things have you tested and found to make it as eye-catching and as attractive as possible? You said the TVs, you said some nice lights, you have your grid. What other little tips and tricks and things have you found to bring in more folks?
Well, when we set our booth up, we try to make it like a mini store. And we have a lot of people to say, this looks like a little store when we come in. We know we put flooring down, because people's walking on asphalt and cement all day long, and you would not. We probably get more compliments on the flooring than anything because people walks in and all of a sudden it's soft. They go, "Oh, I love this flooring." But we try to make it like a little store. We have Edison lights strung across the top to light it up. We make sure everything is well lit. Our clothes naturally they're colorful, so that's an eye attention, and we just. We try to make it like a little store within the fair to just, get people out of the, if I don't know, some fairs, you stand out in the aisle to look. We have it where they can come inside so they get out of the push and the shove of the people and, they can just sort of, take their time and look and, they don't feel like they're just being pushed and shoved all the time. So.
Yeah, that's so clever. I didn't even think about flooring at any fair and thing that I go to. It's just whatever is the ground is the ground.
Right,
so that's really a clever touch to have it more welcoming and have it feel like almost an escape from the rest of the fair. And
yeah. I mean, it's amazing just little touches you do to try to get, like I said, try to get somebody to lean over our direction instead of the next direction. Because, everyone's there to make money. So, we do what we can to, to get more people to come in our booth.
Totally.
But it's
yeah. And in terms of your sort of pitch or your spiel or greeting, what have you optimized there in order to make it as appealing and welcoming?
Yeah. Well, like I said, our clothes are colorful. So that's our pitch, that it's bright and colorful. And, like you see a lot of, the pitch people, we call pitch people where they're selling stuff, they're out, barking and all that. We don't do any of that. We just, they come in, we invite them in, thank them for coming into the booth and ask them how they're doing. If they need any help to give us a call. And then we just sort of just let them casually shop and not be pressured into anything. So.
That's huge. Yeah. I love an understated approach and just sort of, here's what we have, welcome. And
we're sort of the right opposite of what people think the fair is, because at the fair, everybody thinks, even in the movies and stuff, you've got the barkers out there, step right up, come in, all that. And we're right opposite of that, just come in, look around. If you need anything, give us a shout and we'll be more than happy to help you. So. And we find that works because, people, they like to just look. They don't like to have someone on top of them all the time telling them about this and that. They just like to come in and look and not feel pressured to like they have to buy anything. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear what else you've learned along the way, whether it's on the operational side, logistical side, or on the presentation and sales side there. What other tips would you give to someone just starting out in mobile? What other things have you learned that have been really core to your experience?
Right. Well, if you're just starting out in mobile, the first thing I'd say is don't just set a table up and put stuff on it, because people's going to walk right by you. Have some nice tablecloths made, or have your name on the tablecloths. Lighting is very important at fairs, because we're in buildings, and some of them's older buildings and the lighting is not that great, and some's newer building and the light's okay. So you got to have lighting, because people will not. We see all the time where new people's come in and they've just come in, they've put a table up, they have no lights, and they wonder why they're not doing any business. Well, people's just walking right by you because you're blending in with everything else. You've got to have, you got to make a statement. You've got to, like I said, you got to have the lighting. You got to have a nice display. You've got to make people want to come in and shop. And, you just got to, it's trial and error. I mean, it took us years of, we started out with just a table, and then, over the years, we started saying, well, let's do lighting, let's add this, let's do that. And so, we've had custom neons made with our sign, with that lights up. So that gets people's attention. And we just, we have anything with our name on it. We have QR codes outside the booth where people can scan the QR codes. It takes them to a landing page, tells them all about us, how to get to our website, how to get to download our app, how to contact us. So you just, everybody loves to scan a QR code with their phone now. So anything to get somebody to stop for that few seconds, as you just got to hook them and get them in. And, it's the same with the brick and mortar. I mean, you've seen plenty of brick and mortars that's just got like a flat, like some, we see some that's just got a banner outside their door instead of, paying and having a nice lighted sign up. Who's going to, which shop are you going to go into? One that you think they may be there just a week, or one that looks like they've been established. So we just try to look like we've been established and give people more confidence in us.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Lighting makes such a difference for that attraction piece, and also just for being able to see your merchandise better. And especially, like you said, if the lighting isn't that great, you can get to control how your merchandise looks, which is so powerful. And I think that's another really good point of that feeling and looking established. Like you said, putting down flooring and taking the time to string extra lights and all of that really makes you look and feel like an institution, even if it's subconsciously.
It's a lot of work. I mean, it takes us probably, when we have the time, 3 to 4 days to get the booth set up and the way we want it. Now, like I said, some days, like when we go from Iowa to Minnesota, we've only got 2.5 days. So we have to just, we work, 13, 14 hours a day setting the booth up, because, we have to get it done in that amount of time. But we like having, 3, 4, or 5 days to just take our time, get it set up right. But yeah, you've got to, you've got to put the time in. I mean, you can't just come in the day before and just throw something up. You got to make people, feel, some people, when they go to a fair, they feel like, oh, I don't know about this person, I don't know about this person. But, you've got to make them feel relaxed and, they can trust you. That's why we have our QR codes all over everything. And even on our hang tags, they can always get in touch with us, because people always worry, what happens after you leave? You can scan this QR code. Here is our phone number. Here is our email address. I mean, you can contact us. I mean, we give them every way to contact us, just to give them, the assurance that, we're not like, we're here to take care of you after the fair. We're not just here to get you money during the fair, So that makes a lot of people comfortable when they know that they can get in touch with us.
Yeah, That's tremendous. And yeah, building that trust in a short interaction is difficult. And that's
Right.
incredible that you've been
And
able to.
I mean, and that's how we build our year after year, customers, and then, and even like on our live shows, we have a lot of people on there that, do the testimonies, like they've met us and they've, if there's ever been a problem, I mean, we take care of it 100%. So, we just want people to know that, when they shop with us, even though we are mobile and we're from Florida and we might be in Texas or Minnesota or anywhere else, that if they ever have a problem, they can get in touch with us and get it corrected. So I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you take care of folks afterwards? Like, what are your policies and processes around that?
Well, our policy, like if they have the wrong size, they send it back and they can exchange it for a different size. And so, if they get an item, we give them like a 30-day warranty on it and all that. If they find like a tear or something in it, we'll just ship them another piece, replace it, no question asked. So, we make sure that, we just don't say, oh, well, sorry, too late. I mean, we give them enough time and, to take care of it. And we let people know that we'll take care of it.
That's wonderful. Yeah, especially that there is an expense to that, but you found that it's worth it in order to build that trust. And
right. Yeah, because I mean, like I said, it takes when you lose a customer, you never get them back. So it takes a while to develop a customer, and and when you lose it, you hardly ever get them back. So we always try to take care of the customer to make sure that they'll come back and spread the word. Like hey, if you have a problem, Korie's Kloset will take care of it. They'll take care of you. They're not just gone and you never be able to get in touch of them again. So
yeah, huge. And then, like we said, you could build that reputation up over and over throughout the years.
Yeah.
We've talked a bit about cost with here and there. What do you do and what else do you do in order to keep costs down, whether it's at individual fairs or across the board with your inventory?
We import our inventory. So we avoid we cut the middleman completely out. When we first started, we would order through companies and we just got to see, the prices was just, we was having to charge people more than what we thought they should have to pay. Because, everybody's got to get their cut when you go through. So we started importing. And so now, as a matter of fact, we've had one price increase, and that was this year in 5 years. And that was $1 price increase. So, when we import, we've got more control over how it's made. My wife does all the designs. So, we almost all of our designs are exclusive to us. So you can't go get them anywhere else. And, like I said, we know with us importing, our prices are cheaper than the big box stores. So, people look forward to coming to see us. The quality's good. We have spandex blended in with our fabric, so it's stretchy, it's more forgiving. And we have people come in and they say, my kid's been wearing these clothes 2 or 3 years and they're still holding up wash after wash and they still got their color. They, hand-me-downs to the sisters or the little brothers and all that. And so, people likes it to where they get several years out of clothing instead of just buying it. And the worst thing that can happen with our clothes, the kids outgrow them. So they'll outgrow them before they'll wear our clothes out. So we're proud of that. And like I said, they can, pass them, hand them down. But that's one thing which really helped us a lot.
Yeah, that's tremendous to have your customers be able to get that much value out of it and knowing that it's quality. You mentioned not only importing, but also cutting out the middleman. That sounds like an intense thing of having to deal directly with manufacturers and all of that. What has that amount of work been like? What has that kind of work been like, especially if it wasn't something you always did?
Yeah. The time difference is the main thing where we most time we talk with our the factories that we deal with, late at night, because as we're going to bed, they're going to work. So that's been one thing, but just getting it straightened out, making sure the shipping's there. That's the main thing. Our shipping time. Like for our Christmas, we start doing our Christmas in January. So, we just come off Christmas. We're tired of Christmas, but we start working Christmas for January because, it has to be in pre-production in April and May. And for us to start getting it shipped in June, we get one shipment of Christmas in June, then we get the big shipment in September and October. So, that's one thing where if you buy from someone else, you don't have to worry about, it's January, I got to order for this, or, it's October, I got to start doing Valentine's, or, so that's one thing you always have to stay on top of, you got to stay like 6 months ahead of everything, and then hope that the style doesn't change. Because, after we put it in production, if the style changes, it's ours. Where if you order from a company that's already got it, they're hung with it and you're not. So that's probably the biggest drawback. But we make our stuff to where it pretty much goes, we don't do anything sort of, it pretty much stays along the fashion, dresses and short sets and pant sets, it never goes out of style. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially like you said, if you're designing it yourselves and creating it yourselves, what with trends and with styles coming and going, what type of like research and prep do you do? Or like you said, do you stick more towards the timeless rather than experimenting a little bit more with potential trends?
Well, with us working fairs, we stick a lot with the farm animal thing because, there's always, the cow people, sheep, goats, rabbits, chickens, everything's at the fair. So, we can't go wrong. So that is our main thing. But we do, a lot of people like now, like the Highland cow is real popular. It's the cow with the horns, it's real shaggy. So, we do a lot of that. And, that'll eventually go out and something else will come in. But, we watch people. We watch the kids. What are the kids wearing? What's on their clothes? What's the adults wearing? What's on their clothes? So, I guess you could say while we're there selling, we're also people watching. You got to see what they're wearing, what they like, and we just go through with that. And then, Thanksgiving and Halloween and fall, jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins, So, I guess you could say our business is pretty much, I wouldn't know if you'd say safe, but the seasons and stuff is you pretty much can't go wrong with that unless you start doing something really wild,
Yeah, for sure. And that definitely helps that you have a target audience and you have you know what they're looking for. If they're coming to these types of fairs, you appeal to that sort of sense. So that definitely helps. And like you said, that your research is just being there and looking at people. So that's really, really useful.
And plus, you don't see a lot of farm animals or specific type farm animals, in big box stores. So they know when they come to us, and, we have a lot of people say, like, can you make this? Can you do that? And if we get enough requests for it, we'll have it made for that fair the next year and stuff like that. But with the farm animals, they can come right in. They know they can get it from us, and so it's
incredible. With all of this and with your journey so far, what are your plans for the future? What are you thinking about with the business moving forward?
Well, we turned 60 this year, and so we're hoping we've got 10 more years in us. Is what we're hoping. And we hope 5 more years really hard, and then we're going to start cutting some of the fairs out and start slowing down. And then we've got we call her our granddaughter. Well, we've had a girl that's worked for us and helped us for a long time, and we've just sort of adopted her, and she's sort of adopted us. And she's had a little girl named Korie, and we changed our name to Korie's Closet, and we hope that eventually when she gets older, she'll want to take the business over because, I mean, it's an established business. I mean, you can walk right in. And so that's our hopes is that, she's only 5 now. So we hope when she gets older that she'll want to take it over because we would really hate to see it die because as long as we've been doing it and working and all that, we'd like to see someone carry it on. And we really hope that she does.
Yeah, that'll be incredible. I like that plan of keep pushing as you're going, but being realistic and have that sort of 10-year plan to shift out. Because it does, as much as you may love traveling and love what you're doing, it does seem like it would be challenging just as a human and as a person to be on the road all the time and do all of that. How does that feel? How does that affect you both personally?
Well, it's as far as winding down and retiring, or
both, winding down, retiring, and just being on the road so much throughout each year.
We were looking forward to retiring until COVID hit, and then when COVID hit, when they shut everything down. So when the fairs are shut down, we're out of business. So we knew right then we didn't want to retire no time soon because it gets sort of boring just sitting around the house all day long. But we're hoping to go into our 70s. I mean, as long as I can go, I'm going to keep doing it. Like I said, we'll cut the fairs down because no matter how young everybody likes to think they feel, when you've got like a tub that weighs like 50 pounds of clothing, and you're like right now, I'm rolling like 5 of them at a time. I know. Every year goes, it's probably going to be, 4 tubs rolling in, 3 tubs rolling in. And, that's more time that it takes to do than what we would be doing now. So, we hate to see it come, but, eventually, it will slow down and it'll be a retirement time.
Yeah. And just now, how is it to be on the road all the time and going from one fair to the other and not being home? How does that affect y'all?
We love traveling. We love being on the road. And our family, all of our family, we're originally from North Carolina. So they live in North Carolina. And they know, we just like to travel. I mean, I wish it could go on forever, really, to be honest with you. But now we've just, we're in Florida and, like I said, our family's in North Carolina, so we don't see them that much. So being away from home, our home in Florida is not really that bad because, there's not really like no one there, and, we, like I said, we see our family about 3 or 4 times a year. So, they're glad for that. And we're glad for that too. Cause but our parents are getting up in age and we try to see them as much as we can. But, I mean, we just, leaving is not that bad because like I said, it's not where we grew up at, it's just where we moved to. So.
Yeah, that's totally fair. That's so wonderful that you're so energized by it and you could do it forever. That's great.
Yeah.
And having that as a positive is incredible. That's wonderful. Happy for you. I'm glad it's been working out. I'm glad things are going well. That's huge.
Thank you.
Let's see. That's the majority of what I had. Do you have any other things that you've learned along the way and anything else that you want to share about your journey?
No, just if you decide to go mobile, just take your time, build an audience, you build your customer base. And, we just try to be true to them, let them know that you're going to be there to take care of them if something's wrong. Cause, it's like, not like a brick and mortar to where if they buy it this week, they can't come back in a month, they've got to have a way to get in touch with you. And we've always believed in, being there for our customers and having a way for them to get in touch with us at any time they need us.
Incredible. I love it. Thank you again so much for joining and sharing so much of your learnings and your experiences and your story.
Thank you.
Where can people find you online?
You can our Facebook page, Korie's Closet. You can go to our website, koriescloset.com. You can check us out on all social media. We try to post regularly, and keep everybody updated.
Perfect. And you have the schedule up there as well for different fairs and things?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we always post on our Facebook page, the next fair coming up and all that. So
awesome. Yeah. Hopefully some folks can join you and see you on the road.
Yeah. If you do, say you saw us and say hi.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Thank you so much again. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the community.
All right. Thank you.